So we going horizontal. We going horizontal. And hold on. All right. Where my fork at? See. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm gonna wait for like maybe a person to come alive, but you know I'm gonna pray and do all that good stuff. We are lifted. We are gifted. Y protegido siempre, si se puede, si se puede. God bless you. God bless me. And God bless we. Si se puede, si se puede. And yeah, I genuinely hope everyone is doing amazing today. I do have a little announcement. Hi, my love. I like how, okay, so I'm seeing the comments coming to the left of me because it's horizontal. Hopefully everything's fine and it's horizontal for you guys. But I do have an announcement before we start. I've already prayed, but I do have an announcement. The my coven, my Facebook coven has already begun, or it has been for a few days. And if you are interested and maybe or feel like you're aligned with it, just message me on Instagram and we can see if you're a fit. What I mean by fit, like if you're aligned, if you're okay with everything that's going to be in there, it's free spirited. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get too much into detail, but if you're interested, message me on Instagram. Only thing about me being so far away from the camera is there's just so much glare in my glasses, but maybe, you know, that resonates. Anyway, today's title that Spirit gave us is called A Prophet Knows Their Darkness. I hope I didn't put his, because prophets can be man or woman. But a prophet knows their darkness. What I'm channeling is basically like, there's no way one can be a prophet and not acknowledge their dark nature. There's no way one can be a fully functional prophet that's actually in their purpose and that is activated and not know their darkness or is committed to the dark work every day. There's just no way. A prophet knows as above, so below. A prophet knows there's light because of dark. A prophet knows chaos is needed in this world to balance out things. You ever see those episodes of shows where like they erase all the evil out the world? Or not evil, but the bad or negative out the world. And then things actually the world ends up being worse. And then toxic positivity takes over the entire episode. There was an episode like that in Charmed. If you haven't watched like Charmed before, not the newer one, like the OG Charmed. They had an episode like that where I guess one of their spells had a mishap, or they had the intentions of taking all the negativity out the world, and the toxic positivity it basically reigned in toxic positivity, and people were like killing people but like smiling and still, like, it was just so sociopathic, I guess you can say. Well, yeah. And I also believe in the pursuit of intentional darkness. What do I mean by that? I mean, with darkness, you need to be intentional because it's a big responsibility. So what do I mean by the pursuit of intentional darkness? I mean, when you're in your darker nature, or when you are tapped into your darker self, whether that be your dark feminine, dark masculine, whatever, just your shadow self. As your shadow matures, like we spoke about the other day, it will grant you assignments. Also, you know, people who are overly positive and are tapped into toxic positivity, and that's their life, they won't condone in like things like they'll think setting a boundary is toxic. Because toxic positivity can also lean into just being selfless to the point where it's like you don't take care of yourself, or you put everyone else over above you. Toxic positivity can lean into people pleasing, you know what I'm saying? And that is a dangerous route to take for the rest of your life. I feel like everybody has experienced people pleasing tendencies, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, like I've gone through it, but to live the rest of your life in that realm or in that way, you're actually not helping anyone, because there is so much resentment that is built up from living a toxic positive life. It's insane. And then also not being able to balance the good with the bad, or good and bad are relative terms. I think there's good and evil, because we need our shadow, we need the dark, we need them. And why do we need these things? Because it all balances out. There's even sometimes a negative action you have to take for the greater good, like the whole discussion about killing Hitler. Like time traveling and popping his ass. It was a joke, but like, like, you know, that's where the conversation of morals can get a little tricky, because everybody can have different morals. But I still feel like there's one universal law that supersedes good and bad. It just is, you know? And that's why light and dark make gray. Limbo, the gray area. I used to grow up and I used to hate when people say, you're playing both sides. No, bitch. I'm well-balanced individuals and can literally see where both of y'all have each other fucked up, or where both of y'all are actually not benefiting in goal, right? But because they don't like each other, or because they are against the way the other person is doing it, they throw away the whole entire common goal, and then the cause is lost. Does that help anything? No, I don't know how I just teetered over to that topic. Anyway, let's move on to another download. Anyway, if you just got in here, I love you, and we're doing live shadow work. Oh, okay. I just literally just flipped to a page. I'm getting some downloads from, you know, obviously straight from the today. This is Surah 1447. I don't know if that's how you say like verses and stuff like that. I'm still learning. But anyway, never think that Allah would fail his messengers in his promise, for Allah is exalted in power, the Lord of retribution. One day the earth will be changed to a different earth. One day the earth will be changed to a different earth, and so will be the heavens, and men will be marshaled forth before Allah, the one, the irresistible. And thou wilt see the sinners that day bound together in fetters, their garments of liquid pitch, and their faces covered with fire. With Allah may requite each soul according to its deserts. Sorry, child, my brain is like not working right now. I haven't really eaten a full meal yet. And verily Allah is swift in calling to account. Here is a message for mankind. Let them take warning their form, and let them know that he is no other than one Allah. Let men of understanding take heed. I want to reread the beginning. Are you guys commenting anything? Okay, the live chat is right here. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up because, yeah. Anyway, I definitely like the beginning of this passage, because it's literally saying one day, this literally has everything that like the spiritual community on YouTube and everything, when everybody was doing like had a mass awakening in the year, like, we have mass awakenings every lifetime. But anyway, the most recent one and everything, all you see all the spiritual people talking about, you know what I'm saying, another paradigm shift, or they're talking about a new earth, they're talking about it literally says that in the Quran. It says one day the earth will be changed into a different earth. What I mean by that is because literally the collective vibration is going to raise the vibration of the earth, of Mother Earth. Mother Earth will have to, and in order for that to fully take place, some form of chaos has to happen. What is that? That is dark. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yes, I like to say it's for the chaotic good. So you have to introduce chaos sometimes. You have to introduce chaos to situations in order to A, maybe start a revolution, or B, evolve. You have to break rules in some way, shape, or form, and that can be viewed as negative or dark, because you're not following a certain system that everybody's been trained to follow. And even if it's a spiritual system, it can not even just like the regular, USA government, all that stuff, even just a spiritual system. People are scared to break spiritual systems, and it's like there's like universal law that will stay forever, yes, but there are some of these spiritual systems more tied in religious factors that we can actively break every day. And not even just religious factors, even just spiritual factors that we can break every single day. You know what I'm saying? And we break them not to just be rebellious for the sake of just being rebellious. We break them because it's necessary for the collective to be introduced into a new way. And things that are new, things that are brand new and new to the eye and new to the collective and everything, are going to be deemed as scary, are going to even be villainized, because people fear the unknown, and the unknown is still the unknown is still associated with the dark, because you don't know, if in the dark you don't see anything, so it's unknown. But yes, a prophet knows their darkness, and a prophet knows what must be done that might not be always a comfortable decision, or a decision that is, bubbles, shines, and rainbows, but it's for the greater the greater good. You can make darker choices for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? Setting boundaries can be viewed as darker to a narcissist. A narcissist can think you're evil because you set a boundary, but it was necessary. Or somebody disrespected your family member and is threatening your family member. Are you not going to retaliate just for the sake of keeping them safe? That is darker in nature, but that is for the greater good and the safety of your family. So yeah, we're at 12 minutes right now. I'm not going to be too long. Yesterday's episode was like 40-something minutes, child. I want this to be under 25. Honestly, I need this because it's so quiet in here right now, as far as the energy. Because yesterday's episode 23, we had, I think, over like 400 to 500 views, but it was equal balance of light and dark, and it was just a lot, and the trolls were trolling hard. It got my ass a little bit, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, my shadow was not playing with them yesterday. My shadow was clapping back, was barking back. Confirmation. Like, my shadow was barking back. Anyway, but I'm gonna take a breather before we move into some other downloads. Does anybody have anything they want to say, anything they want to contribute? I thought I had okay, no, nothing. All right, we can move on. Let me just drink a whole bunch of water though, because again, I have not eaten a full meal today. I've eaten some fruit, I've drank some stuff, and this is not an intentional fast. It's just I'm like making a lot of things from scratch as far as food goes, so I'm gonna be cooking myself cooking for myself when I get off here. Tuned in all the way. That's probably why it's so, I feel like the energy in this episode is very, very palatable and very very serene and very calm though, because I just feel like it's just time to just soak in the information and actually transmute whatever things you have to transmute. So that was a download from the Quran. Let's see if there's some downloads from another place. Let me go get it. Hold on, y'all. All right. Ooh. All right, so I know we already did the Sinners edition episode for the Shadow Reaches, and if you haven't watched that, you guys can go and find that. I forgot which episode is it, but it's the only episode that has a Sinners thumbnail. So, but these were downloads from the Sinners episode, and obviously I did not read all of the downloads from there, so we're gonna just tap into this because I just feel called to. So yeah, basically these were downloads I got from the movie. So basically any like quotes I got from the movie I wrote down that were significant, and I felt that were significant to the collective. And it was on a random day. It was just, yeah. But anyway, let's read some. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a whole other thing, actually. Should I go get the Sinners ones? Y'all let me know if you want the Sinners downloads for the later half of this video. But sorry, this is actually a list of downloads that I made April 28th, or I collected April 28th. And the title of these downloads is Meet Me at the Crossroads. I don't know, probably the reason why I thought these were the Sinner ones, because the title was Meet Me at the Crossroads, and you know, a lot of that energy was in the movie. I'm trying to make sure, like, I want to see the messages. Okay, anyway, Sinners download. You want to see them? Oh, some more Sinners downloads. Read with pause, reflect nuance and symbolism. When translated, loses its potency. Unlike Arabic, I'm trying to read your thing because it keeps disappearing. All right. Unlike Arabic, source is far more sensitive and elaborate. Know that English only pays tribute to the sacred text. You know what's crazy? I've been wanting to. That is one of the languages I genuinely want to learn. My stepmom is Palestinian, and she's fluent. And I know that eventually I'm going to be. I want to be fluent in Spanish and Arabic. If anybody doesn't know, I do study multiple religions, so that's why I have a Bible, I have a Quran, I have regular spiritual texts. I do study like Hinduism and everything too, so yeah. Anyway, I will tap into the Sinners downloads a little bit later in this episode, but we're gonna start off with what I have right now, just because I already have it in my hand. But it says, let me see, let's see. Ooh. It says, who, these are like in the form of like voices. It says, who are you, bro? Put your eye back. Who are you, bro? Put your eye back. And the way this can be interpreted is, if you ever heard of the evil eye, you know what I'm saying? Or like a watching eye or a monitoring spirit. They are very prevalent these days. Like when I tell you, especially because this is like the time where a lot of prophets and God's children and things of that nature, angels, earth angels and everything, are waking up to their purpose and being more active online. It's causing a lot of the monitoring spirits and people who contain a lot of evil eye to be very open and very like very there, you know what I'm saying? So the spirit's saying, who are you, bro? Put your eye back. I feel like a lot of you guys have been feeling like eyes on you, and it doesn't necessarily mean like have to be on just social media. Like, you just ever have the feeling of being watched, but like nobody's around you. These are the monitoring spirits. And I feel like because of the times we're in and because of like the new earth and everything that's being ushered in, these monitoring spirits are going to have to elevate in some type of way. They're going to have to transform into something a little bit stronger, a little bit more potent. So I believe that the evil eye and the monitoring spirits are kind of working together. Like a monitoring spirit has an evil eye. And you know what I'm saying? And if you have certain entities that are attracted to your light, because, you know, our light can attract everything, you know what I'm saying? You have to be careful, because when you walk in your purpose, as above, so below, people will try to find any reason to discredit you. People can definitely look in without being nearby, which is why we got to stay cleansed for sure. Exactly. When you are on your purpose, when you are being vocal and free-spirited and you're working for God, do you know how many people are waiting to discredit what you say, or waiting to discredit everything you do, or waiting for you to mess up or fuck up so they can be like, ha, I knew it. Or they can just be like, they want a reason to tear you down, because they know for a fact they will never be in the position you will be in. They will never be able to be truthfully authentic in this world, because they're hiding so much, excuse me to spit, they're hiding so much of themselves because it's necessary for them, because they have some things they have not healed. And also in the dark, in their dark, they're doing some, They're doing some grimy shit. So because of that, because of their character and moral standing, they're watching you be of God. They're watching you take a stand. They're watching you be vocal about things. They're watching you, you know what I'm saying, be in your purpose and you know, accept yourself as above so below, accept your light and your dark, and be really in your power. They're watching you with envy. They're watching you with even like envious lust. They're watching you with their evil eye and their monitoring spirit, and they're watching and they're watching and they're watching. And the advanced ones will plan their attack, and that is where spiritual warfare will come and play. And that's why everybody needs to either stay prayed up, do their mantras, or they need to make sure they're doing like sound bowl stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like the little videos that you can watch on YouTube as far as that cleanses your energy. Anyway, however you take care of your light body and wear the armor of God, you need to suit up. And technically, when we do suit up and wear the armor of God, that is kind of defensive, and defense can still be looked at as a darkness type of tactic, because it's a war tactic, and war tactics can be considered dark. Just ordered a sound bowl. Funny to period. Yes. Oh my gosh. I remember I used to have a sound bowl. I need a new one. I haven't had a sound bowl in years. I used to have a little frog too. You can like take a stick and like run it against his back and it'll make a specific noise. It was so pretty. But yeah, like, it is time to continuously be armed up. And you don't even have to buy anything. Like, there's everything is you buy is coming from nature anyway, just recrafted by a human. Like, I could go outside now, find some rocks, and start banging them together and find a certain frequency. Or, for example, when I ran out of things to use as far as like sound, okay, let me show you. Because I think I have it in my room. So I have some old pegs that before like some years ago, I tapped them together and I really resonated with the sound of the pegs because I was just playing around. But this is not even considered a spiritual tool. But it is all about your intentions with the things you use. A tool is a tool, a name is a name, but it matters about the person who's using it. Listen to this. I'm not sure what frequency this is, but it's a high one. These are bike pegs. Bike pegs. This is not a sound bowl. These are not the spiritual tools, but these are bike pegs. You can be creative when dealing with the metaphysical. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always have to play by the rules or play by the book. And breaking the law or breaking rules is what a dark tactic is of the dark arts, because that's where creativity comes from, the dark. This is quote unquote not a spiritual tool, not a sound bowl, not a little thing that, you know, the spirituals buy from a metaphysical store. These are bike pegs. But I'm somehow able to use this to clear a frequency because I found the way, because there's sound. Sound. Iron is a fire conductor, precisely. I'm actually going to do this a few times. Hold on. Okay, cool. I'm going to start using them more often in my videos. I just forgot I even had them. But, I guess the last of this episode, we're just going to, let's see if I can find my downloads from the Sinners movie. I don't even know if I even said all of them on that episode, but let's see. Or maybe I ripped them out of this notebook, but let's see. Oh, I found them! Okay. All right, let's move y'all back over here. All right, so the last of this episode, we're going to be going over some stuff from Sinners, and we're going to tap out. All right, I did say I wanted it to be 12 to 25 minutes, but we can push it a little bit. I feel like I said some of these. I think I said all of these before, actually. But there was a part of a download that I didn't really go into great detail it was the first one. There are legends of people born with the gift of making music so true it can pierce the veil between life and death, conjuring spirits from the past and future. I don't think I went too deep into this one. This is the only one I didn't go too deep on in that episode. What the last part of the first one was. The gift, basically they're saying the gift of gab with the gift of sound can conjure the spirits from the past and the future. That's why I'm always saying Past, present, and future is happening simultaneously. And with that, and you're using your dark nature, your dark energy to manifest things for the greater good, because you can have chaotic good, you can have the darker nature for the good, or the dark arts of some way, shape, or form. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. So even with just what you say, poets, philosophers, like when you're discovering the codes from the ethers and everything, and you're relaying these messages, just even me having these episodes, I am conjuring spirits right now. You conjure spirits for the people who comment things. We are conjuring energies, you know what I'm saying, from the past and the future. And whatever energies that want to be a part of this and that want to heal or that want to like integrate their shadows, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I know there are certain spirits that are obviously dead because they're dead people, but that doesn't mean that some of them aren't here to grow as well. When we're connected with our ancestors and we're connected with the higher realms, when you get to a certain level, they become so proud of you that they're like, they look up to you in a sense, because it's like they're ready to evolve, but in any way they can. You know what I'm saying? They're ready to heal certain dark parts about them. So if you have ancestors that pass away and they're seeing you do things completely differently, I'm telling you, I promise you, now I'm getting ancestor downloads. Great. I promise you that you said awareness alone brings about change. Exactly. And if you have any passed away loved ones that are literally, they're watching over you, seeing that you are doing things completely differently, whether you're breaking generational curses, whether you're eating better, whether you have broke the spirit of manipulation in your family, whether you have set boundaries with the narcissist in your family, whatever you're doing differently, there are some of your ancestors that are so freaking proud of you right now, that are watching over you, that are learning from you, and that you're healing your bloodline with this root work we're doing, with this shadow work we're doing, with the digging deep and talking about the more uncomfortable things, facing our shadow, facing the uncomfortability in life. And that will constantly have us grow and evolve. And our ancestors right now, I promise you, just for you all being here and attending and just having the courage to have conversations, using your gift of gab, you know, using that air energy to move energy around, they're ready to change too. They're ready to be led by you. I know they're your ancestors and everything, but some ancestors only stopped at a certain point. So they're ready to be led by you. They're ready to live through you. Are you going to answer the call of you being a prophet? Because I know some prophets are watching me. I know mermaids watch me. I know fairies watch me and everything, but I know some prophets are watching me too. So are you ready to answer your call every single day? And I know some people don't like the word obedient to God, but are you ready to listen to God and take heed and actually follow his word, or in any way, shape, or form? Because the word can come from a Bible. The word can come from literally a movie, a song. God can talk to you through different ways. Are you ready? Yes, you said I'm ready for my journey every day. You have to arrive every day. There is no destination. You have to constantly choose this. I love you guys. Never stop growing. Never be afraid of the shadows. Consistently face yourself every single day and face what you're scared of. Yes, he said it's something to be proclaimed. Yes, proclaim it. I love you guys, and we're lifted, we're gifted y protegidos siempre si se puede, si se puede. Bye, guys.